Where do I start? There has been one instance where I watched a film and realized that I'll never write anything as smart, creative, or entertaining as that film, and that is when I watched The Prestige for probably about the second time. I was able to see how Nolan chose to reveal certain things at the perfect time, to clue the audience in at every turn, just to pull the rug right from underneath them, revealing that the answer was right under their nose the entire time. The writing was so precise. Nolan treated that screenplay about magicians like a magician himself, and although it might not be my favorite of all his films, the writing just still put me to shame. I love horror and sci-fi. Those are my two genres. And although I love the comic book movies and I'm excited for Endgame, this movie really is the Endgame to me. It was the film that I was looking forward to more than anything else coming out this year, and once again, I was put to shame, and I have realized I will never write anything as creative, smart, or entertaining as this movie. Jordan Peele is a horror genius, not just because he is 2 for 2 in my opinion, but because this film and Get Out are two completely different but equally as inventive movies. If you by chance don't know the plot to this film, it is about a family who is terrorized by identical versions of themselves. It is so simple, but this film takes it to places I couldn't ever imagine. If you saw the trailer for this film, you have still seen absolutely nothing. This film takes that concept and runs with it. It's such a simple idea flourished into something grand, both in scope and in execution. Lupita Nyong'o. What can I say about Lupita Nyong'o in this movie? She is incredible in every aspect of this film in both of her roles. Lupita carries both roles, good and bad, and crushes every aspect of it. She is badass, creepy, and most importantly, a lead that you can root for. Winston Duke, who plays her husband, was a bright spot in this quite terrifying film. You really do need some levity when put in such a stressful situation. He has fun with his role in both the comedic scenes and the horrific ones, and this can really be said about the entire cast, but Duke really crushes it. And the kids are also fantastic across the board, and you can really tell the difference between a good director and a great director from the performances that he or she can get out of their performers, especially from child actors. And again, they play their innocent selves very well, but they can also be creepy as hell when it comes time to do so. And that being said, of course, this movie has some great scares, and what this film does better than anything that I've seen in the past couple of years is it builds tension and builds and builds and builds until it hits you like a truck. There are really only 2 or 3 jump scares in the entire 2-hour runtime, and the rest of the time is really spent just building the tension until it releases all the horror upon both the characters and the audience. The violence is handled very well, and obviously the tension is very high, but Peele also knows when to give a moment of relaxation to the audience without losing any momentum in the film. One scene in particular seemed to slow down a little bit, but then I realized what he was doing, and it's such a comedic moment, but the horror is still there. It's one of the goriest scenes in the movie, and it was just a great moment of levity. You can tell that Jordan Peele was just having fun with the story and the characters at that point. And yes, Get Out did have some comedic moments, but this is something you didn't get to see from Get Out, where he just kind of goes nuts with the horror and just, it's bonkers, but it's great. This film has a much grander scale than Get Out, and it's much more of a straightforward horror film, as that movie was more of a psychological thriller. That film's deeper meanings and messages were very subtle, but it's still at the very forefront of the script, whereas this film is even much more subtle and it is really focused on the plot and the wacky story that this film has. It really does go to some crazy places that I really don't want to spoil and that I was not expecting at all, but you know, Peele goes for it. It's very different from Get Out in almost every way. This movie was creepy with moments of horror. It was terrifying but was a lot of fun. Jordan Peele did a great job directing and all the performances are just incredible across the board. And if Peele keeps this up, he'll be known as one of the greatest horror directors of our time and maybe of all time. This is easily my favorite film of the year so far, so definitely go check this one out. And you bet the next time Peele releases a movie, I'll be first in line. And if Lupita Nyong'o is in anything at all, I know I am on board. She's an amazing actress. Peele is an amazing director. This movie, across the board, is just, it's almost perfect. The only flaws I would have with this movie is I'm not sure if everything completely makes sense. I do want to watch it a second time, and I feel like this movie on second watch would actually be better because there's so much more to discover and to peel apart, and no pun intended with that. But this movie just, I feel like it could be even better on second watch, just trying to figure everything out. And it's just masterful with the way, like the Prestige was, with when it reveals certain things. I just absolutely love this movie. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel to see more reviews just like this one. And check out my Twitter, @TheYarMovies, to get my instant reaction to movies. I tweeted about this film as soon as I walked out of it, basically screaming Jordan Peele and Lupita Nyong'o's names because, like, you've seen this review. I'm screaming their names right now. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. I will be seeing Shazam tomorrow, so review coming up very soon, and I'll see you all then.